So we have quite a lot of questions to go through. I'm just going to try to get to the majority of them that fit the theme. And yeah, the reason that I wanted to talk about dating is because I recently went on a date and it reminded me of how happy I am being single, actually. And that was kind of funny to me because I wasn't very aware of that before that moment. So, as you guys know, I'm definitely still recovering from someone, and that whole experience with the last person I dated just really it's gonna take some time, honestly. There are just things that hit really close to my core, as relationships and heartbreak often do, and I just need a bit more time to process that. Since then, I had decided to get back out there and to go on dates again, put myself back out there. And so I've been on 2 dates. I'm not really a dating type of person. I just need to be friends first and have a slow burn. The first time I went on a date again, I met up with someone in a city and we went for a drink. By drink, I mean tea, because I don't drink alcohol, so, but he also had tea, and we played chess. I'd never played chess before, or not since elementary school, so he taught me how to play chess again. We had so much fun. It was such a lovely, lovely person, and I would definitely set him up with a friend. However, I just wasn't really feeling it, and I felt more of a friendshipy vibe. By the way, I didn't even tell you, but I got my hair done. I vlogged it on my second channel. It was a whole journey. But just if in case you did notice, I do have a new hair color, and this one is going to last a while. Anyway, yeah, that date, I just wasn't really feeling it, and I got in my car after the date, and I burst out in tears, because it was just my first date after someone, you know. It was just, I don't know, it just hit me pretty hard that there were parts of this other person that I was missing, and I was really angry and overstimulated and tired, and I got in my car and I cried, which was kind of a reminder of, okay, there's still some things to work out. But then recently I went on a date with someone who I had gone out with before, and we had chatted for a while again, and we decided to grab a coffee, so we did. And it was nothing crazy, just grabbing a coffee, going to a couple shops, but he had already liked me before and I had rejected him. And so I felt a lot of pressure, in the sense that I did not want to hurt his feelings, because I know what it's like to be on the other side of this story. And if someone you've liked pops back into your life and is like, hey, do you want to hang out? Of course you are going to say yes. But I feel like that's not really a chill foundation to get reacquainted. And he was very honest with me about how it did really affect him the last time that I had rejected him, and I didn't know. I had no idea. We saw each other once. And so that kind of took me by surprise, and after the date I was really overthinking my decision if we were going to hang out again, because he asked a couple days later. I was like, I want to, I think it will be fun, but that would be all. And I really got very nervous. I'm leaving out a lot probably does have bad feelings towards me at the moment. But after going back and forth a little, I did ultimately decide, like, hey, I think we should just leave it at this, because this doesn't feel good to me. Because he didn't want to talk to me as a friend. He wanted to do the no contact, and I was like, okay, word. I respect that. But I was curious, like, what did you want out of this then? And then we started talking about more casually hanging out, which was more of what I would be able to do. I was like, wait, no, let's not go there, because we're going to be going into this with different desires, I guess, and different expectations, and I don't know, I'm not going to do that. So I ended that, and he was definitely pissed, but I do think it's for the best, and I'd rather have it end now than we go on a couple dates. I still feel more of a friendshipy vibe, because I'm just not that emotionally available and not prioritizing it, but he liked me / still likes me, and then you get into a really weird dynamic, which I was literally in the other way around. And that just freaked me out so much that I decided to step away, and I am sending him all the best, and I'm sad to not, like, be able to talk to him, of course, but it is what it is. And once again, I would definitely set him up with a friend. Like, these were really good guys, which was a very good experience. But so after that date, I was like, you know what, I'm fine for a while. I know I'm not someone who centralizes men a lot. I am a lover girl, so I love, I crave romance, I love it, but it's not like I'm actively trying to meet people and get into something or casually date or anything. That's not really my style. And so I realized that I am just so happy to not have someone else take up so much real estate in my brain, and that I have that space for me back, that I really don't want to give that space to anyone else but me right now. And that feels so good, because it had been a while since I felt that way. So yeah, that was my dating update. Just, I don't know, I've been considering doing a year of celibacy, actually, which I've done that before. Not necessarily by choice, it just, I don't really hook up a lot with people, and physical intimacy is definitely like a barrier for me. It's always a trust thing, and I don't know. So I've been considering doing that, but I haven't really intentionally given that a lot of thought, so I might need to just think about that a little more. What do I want to get out of that, you know? But yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm chilling and I'm hanging out with the girls. It's a good time. And, yeah, inner peace and all that. Okay, let's get into your questions, shall we? Someone asked about online dating versus offline dating and expectations on the first and second date, but they also said maybe it's a good subject to discuss with a guest, and I agree, so I'm going to park that question for when I do have a guest on here, so that we can discuss that, because I agree with that would be a really fun dynamic. I also always prefer having a conversation about these topics. You guys know that, I say that in every video, I think. But yeah. Let's see. Okay. Is it wrong to want to be with someone when they are so completely different than you are? First response to seeing the question is no. I really like it when people are different than me. However, it is crucial, in my opinion, to have the same values, and that is the subject and how you base your decisions in voting and how you know, talk to other people about your political views, I think they very directly link to your core values as a person, right? Or at least, for me personally, my political views and the way that I would vote is very based on my core values as a person and the things that I care about. So, inclusivity, is that the English word? Inclusion, diversity, climate, you know, things like that. And then there are a bunch of specific topics, of course, in each country that are very relevant, but, you know, I do think you need to have in Dutch we would say, you need to have your noses pointed in the same direction. And I think that is very important to me in dating someone. But if a person is very different than you, I think that's also incredibly inspiring, and just, it keeps everything so interesting, because I love my friends who are entirely different than me. I have friends who are DJs and are into music so hard and are producing a lot. I have friends who are doctors in a hospital. I have friends who are traveling all over. I have friends who live in a small town, and I have different levels of those friendships, of course, and different levels of intimacy with them and things that I can and can't really talk to them about, but I think that it's wonderful to have someone who's different than you. It's just, in a partnership, I would consider your values versus their values and the way that they treat other people and the way that they treat you and yada yada yada. So I would say it's not inherently wrong to want to be with someone when they're completely different than you are. It is wrong when you know that it's a shitty person with very bad morals. And that might be something to look into, you know. Question on safety. I am a pretty small woman, and while I want to break up with my boyfriend, I'm afraid of losing the feeling of safety being in public with a man. I'm frightened by the prospect of having to do things alone. Tips on feeling safe as a single woman. First of all, I am sad to hear that you want to break up with your boyfriend. Endings are never fun. However, I hope that you did do it, since sending this submission, like the question, because I do not think it's fair of staying in a relationship because you want to feel safe. That's not fair to anyone, and it's no reason to stay with someone. We are adults. If you want to break up, break up. However, I understand your concern. I cannot relate to it because I'm not used to having the comfort of a man by my side. I'm used to doing things alone. I do know what it's like to have male friends who are like a lot taller and bigger than you, and I know that can feel very safe, but I am a tall single woman, so I might just not be the person to ask this. What I do to feel safe is, first of all, I feel pretty grounded in myself, and I feel pretty capable of handling difficult situations in general. I'm pretty confident with that. However, it really depends on the settings that you're in. If you live in a big city, maybe just don't go outside on your own and don't go to sketchy neighborhoods on your own. In those scenarios, ask a friend. If you're in public transport and someone makes eye contact with you and they make you feel uncomfortable, I'm trying to imagine what contexts you are talking about. So I think of public transport and being outside, but I imagine that if you're in a group setting and you're out somewhere and a man hits on you, you have friends to stand up for you. And I imagine that you do go to places alone in your day-to-day, even when you have a partner. So I would say focus on those moments and really remember that you are strong, even if you are small. Just, you know, go for the nuts, you know. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I think that even though it can be frightening to do things alone, it is such a liberating and empowering experience. just a very safe activity to do alone, because you're just sitting down watching a screen, so there's no social interaction. And then build that out. That's what I would say, but don't forget to just ask friends and loved ones and your network, because odds are that it's a lot larger than your partner alone. And break up with your boyfriend. I'm saying all these things from the biggest place of love. I hope that you know that. Okay, we got a big question. Let's go. I started to notice that I potentially may have feelings for a friend of mine 4 or 5 years ago. We were 15, met as classmates and sort of companions throughout academic stages. And since then, I've had brief crushes on others, but that didn't last for even a couple of months, and I don't want to be cliche, but it sort of feels like I keep coming back to her. I think it makes things more complicated, the fact that female friendships have, in my experience, a certain level of deep platonic love, care, and even intimacy, which means that how can anyone guess what is romantic and what isn't? I think society would assume that a boy and girl going to the cinema alone or on a date, but 2 girls doing so are just friends. What I mean is that the clear indicatives that would work do not apply because of the comfortable closeness that already exists within female friendships. And 2, I find it weird to say crush, because really it is a friend. I know and admire and already love my friends, so really it doesn't feel like it's someone I fancied and want to know more deeply. It's someone I first knew, then loved as a friend, then started to develop feelings for. Am I in love? It's a very sweet question, and I can imagine that it's very confusing to answer the question of am I in love? Yeah, I think you are, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Oh, there's nothing more romantic than falling in love with a friend, but it's also the most heart-wrenching feeling ever, I think. I feel like I would need more context in this question. By the way, there's something in there as well. I know I really don't want to confess my feelings, and not for the fear of rejection, but also because I could potentially lose a close, dear, significant friendship. And I know she's just like me, and not the type to make the first move. But as years go by, I find that this whole topic consumes my life more and more. Okay, so we are kind of in a conundrum. Because on the one hand, what I'm sensing from this question is that you do want to get your feelings out, and you want to know if the crush is reciprocated. And feel that release. I can imagine. On the other hand, you want to maintain your friendship, and you don't want anything to change. But the crush is consuming your life. So I think you will kind of get to a point of how valuable is it for me to, or how sustainable is it for me to continue this friendship and keep my longings locked? Or is it worth it to ask and to potentially ruin the friendship, but be living in more openness and clarity on the feelings that you have or might not have, or your friend might not have or might have? Does that make sense? Because if the topic consumes you, let's not underestimate the emotional toll that can take. And I am always someone who would advise you to get the truth out, because I just feel like I personally can handle tension very poorly. I just need to get things out, and it's such a relief, and it's like a fog has lifted in the room if it's out there and honest, but it's also terrifying. I also can't imagine having a friendship that is that long and having those feelings for so long. So on the one hand, I would say, and I know you don't want to hear it, I would say explain your feelings or your confusion about yourself to be honest with your friend, because letting that friendship that you clearly are really attached to and you really value a lot, if that keeps you from finding a romantic partner and that is something that you want and desire and are looking for, you really owe it to yourself to talk about it. I think, look, this is why we need to talk about it, because I would love to hear the details in, are there any moments where you felt a romantic tension, or did you feel moments where there was flirting? Have you guys ever kissed before? Does she have a partner? How is she in dating? Like, we need to paint a picture. I think that for you, if you know that there is a spark between you two, and you know that there can be a reciprocation in the feelings, it's always worth it to ask. If you really deep down think that it's just you having the feelings and they are not reciprocated, then I hope that you can find some closure in your crush so that you can at least move on. But I feel like if you say that it's consuming you, there needs to be some kind of decision made, because it's not, I mean, you do whatever you want, okay? I would genuinely feel sad if a friend told me that they'd been stuck in certain feelings for multiple years. If I was someone's best friend for years and someone would after years confess their feelings and they weren't reciprocated, I would honestly be like, I wish that you would have just told me sooner, because it's not that crazy to develop feelings. But to get back to your point of discerning the romantic aspects with there being this comfortable intimacy, are you guys like cuddling on a couch, or like what is happening? I want to know so bad. But I think with matters of the heart and things like this, it is kind of an intuitive feeling of there is a tension between us. Logic just seems to be going out the window sometimes, so I cannot give you a clear list of this means that it's not platonic and this means that it is platonic. So for your question, how can anyone guess what is romantic and what isn't? What I'm wondering is if you've ever had hangouts, like I said earlier, where there was a lot of flirting, or where there was a more romantic vibe, or I don't know. I don't know your dynamic. I don't know your type of relationship and the activities that you do. So honestly, all I can say is try to consciously look at her behavior towards you and the things that she's saying. At some point, I would say it's probably going to give you a lot more relief to ask if there's anything going on between you two. If you are correct for feeling a tension between you two sometimes, that am I crazy, or is there kind of something going on sometimes? Did we just have a moment? Or, you know, especially if she's also not someone to make the first move, you can be walking around in circles forever, and I don't think that that's what you would want. And if your friend would have a partner and would fall in love now, how would that make you feel? And I think that that's something to consider, because you've had a lot of time to not say anything about it, but I think that it's a beautiful thing if you do. And I'm sorry if that's just not what you want to hear, because you say, I know I really don't want to confess my feelings. But it's often the thing you resist the most that is the thing to do. And I think that deep down you also know. So it's really up to you if you are okay with just being in the friend zone, letting it go, and just focusing on your friendship, or if you want more of this friendship, then you gotta ask. Or you gotta ask her out on a date. Or just ask what's going on. I think that if a friendship has been so long, I would also choose more of a conversational angle than asking someone out, because you have a lot of history, but depends on your dynamic. That's what I would say. Long story long. Okay, Addie asked, I've been out of a toxic relationship that was my first love for a year now. want to be able to open my heart to receive the love I deserve and to give the love I have. How do I overcome this? Okay. Well, Addie, first of all, getting out of a toxic relationship that was your first love sounds so beyond intense. I'm so proud of you for doing that and for starting to feel those feelings for someone else again. What a beautiful thing. Oh my god. And I get that it's horrifying. I think there is no way to not be scared of getting hurt again, of letting someone in again. We have all our experiences and we carry them with us. The thing is, it's just that sometimes you have to do it scared and just let yourself feel scared and still go for something. You don't have to be, fully healed before you can let someone in, and the right person for you will also hold you through that and hold your hand while you figure your shit out, And you don't have to go from 0 to 100. You can let it grow, this amount that you let someone in. I think that if you are at a point where you're comfortable enough with this person to maybe say something about your fears, that can be a beautiful thing to bring you closer. If they know about your past relationship, it's really not that big to tell them that, after your last experience, it is just a little bit scary. I hope that you get where I'm going. If this is a person that you like and you want to give a chance, then being honest won't be a hard thing. At the same time, you don't have to say these things. Of course, I just always like sharing my inner worlds with someone to an extent. You saying you want to be able to open your heart and let love in and give love I have, I think you're already starting to do that from what I'm getting out of this. If you start liking someone and liking them more, I think you're already giving and receiving. And like I said, that can grow and you can take your time. There is no rush either. And this person doesn't have to become everything, and if you want them to become more, then that's a beautiful thing. You can let them in gradually and just show bits of yourself gradually. So you don't have to do anything, so I hope that you don't, or you can let go of that kind of pressure, because I can imagine that it's a pressure that you may feel of letting someone in, and maybe expectations or just fear of getting hurt again. I don't, of course, know exactly what's behind this, but I would say be gentle with yourself, and you're already doing it, and go at your own pace. And if you feel like you can't go at your own pace, you can always express that to that person. Like, hey, I am really enjoying my time with you, and I really want to keep doing this. I just need a bit of time and space to figure some things out. Or I'm just still processing some things, so it's not personal, but I just need to kind of get used to this again, or this is kind of new for me, things like that. I hope that helps, but I am just really happy for you that you're liking someone again, and I hope that you can enjoy that at the same time, as well as it being terrifying, because love just is sometimes, especially just the beginning stages are always very talked about this with friends in similar situations who are also struggling with this, especially regarding the relationship aspect of settling with another person. A few of my friends are in relationships that seem a great fit in the beginning, but they are realizing that their partner might not be perfect for long term because of different views on big adult life decisions. The question that gets raised often is, I'm happy being with this person at the moment and I don't have any big issues now, but I don't know whether this person is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. Should I break up before investing a lot of time in this relationship? This is a very interesting question because this has come up in my friend group as well, and I also have friends in relationships where one partner has said that they think that it's not their partner. The thing is, and it is a very, very cruel thing to stay with someone, even though you know you don't want to stay with someone, because you're wasting someone's time. And that might be so harsh to say, but it's true. If this other person does not know that you don't know, or that you're not sure about the relationship, or that you think it's just a for now thing, that's the most cruel thing that you can do to a partner, because this is a person that loves you and that's here for you and that is your partner. And if you have very different expectations of your future and what that may hold, you need to have a big conversation, and a serious one, and you need to carry that conversation, and you need to be so honest. I feel like it's just, I know that I can imagine that it's incredibly complicated when you love someone and you're in love and it's great, but you know that it's not gonna work. But out of that love, let them go, because if they are looking for a long-term partner, you're holding them back and you're letting them invest their time and energy into you, which they love to do, but they probably want to keep doing that. And if you already know that there's an expiration date on the relationship, you need to talk about that. And that's my thoughts, and I will tell that to every friend, and I will tell that every time, because it's just, it breaks my heart to hear. Because if I imagine being in a relationship and being so in love with someone and going for it, and then hearing that this person knew all along that it wasn't going to last, or that it wasn't what they were looking for, why were you with me then? You know? And yes, enjoy the here and now, and if it feels good, it feels good, but both parties need to be in on that, because you're a partnership. They have to know. Tell your partner, or break up. Those are my thoughts. It's incredibly difficult to, I think, transition from the student life and you just, when you're a student, you just know what you'll be up to for the next couple of years, and then after graduating, it's just this openness, and suddenly you have a lot more things to worry about, and a lot of bigger decisions to make. I will say, you don't have to have everything figured out now, and you don't have to do it in a timeline that other people are on. But yeah, I would advise anyone to talk to their partner if they have doubts on if they're going to make it or not, or if it will be a fit. And especially if you already think that it really won't be a fit, you just need to let them go. Okay, next question. So basically, I'm almost 22 years old, and I've never been in a relationship and never fallen in love or felt really loved. To be honest, this doesn't really bother me, but lately I've been questioning myself and my worth. And I thought maybe I'm not good enough or pretty enough, and that's why. And it kind of gave me anxiety, that the fact that I don't have any experience in relationships at this age. And now I kind of have trust issues and won't believe anyone if they said they wanted me or think I'm cute. I try to focus on university and ignore this idea, but deep down it's always there. First of all, I'm so sorry to hear this and that you're struggling with this. say to you and listen when they say it, because I think a lot of the times the people around us are giving us a lot of love and we are not seeing it because there is such a societal focus on romantic love. And, you know, we are alive right here, right now, and if you don't have romantic love, it does not mean that you are not worth it, and that life is not worth it, you know, and that no one will ever love you. There are people in the world who love you, period. You are loved. And the more that you notice it in other people around you, the more it will open you up, I think, to receiving romantic love as well, and it bringing that confidence back into yourself and working on that muscle of confidence will really just propel you forward in exploring romantic love, because, you know, falling in love and having a relationship and things like that, it doesn't happen overnight. And it doesn't happen like that either. When you meet someone, it's a whole tedious process. It's a journey of getting to know someone, the same as how a friendship grows. You're not besties overnight, you know. You spend time together, and then the love grows. So I would say, take a step back, like, go inward a little. Just remember who the fuck you are, okay? Okay, just remember who you are. You have a lot of things you bring to the table. You are so worthy of love. Are you kidding me? But saying those things to yourself, reaching out to a friend, maybe discussing this with a friend, can also help, because they can grab you by the shoulders and tell you that you're hot and pretty and smart and beautiful and that you deserve love. And you're 22. We've got time. We have time, okay? Being in our 20s, it's such a pivotal time. So many big questions. The world feels huge, and then you think you've had puberty and that was bad, but then you get into your 20s and it's like, But knowing that you have time to fuck around and find out, make mistakes, fall on your face, get back up again, is so important. You have time, and you are loved, and there are so many people around you who love you and who care for you and who show you kindness. Focus on that and invest your time in that, and maybe you can try to, you know, make it a more intentional thing for yourself of, I'm going to text my friends more, I'm going to hang out with them more, so you are out there and are around love, and so you can feel held. And then that yearning for romantic love can kind of become more of a simmer, maybe, and won't be as attached to your worth if you start to decentralize romantic love and detach it. It will help you detach romantic love and validation from your self-worth, I think. Can't believe I improvised all of that. Anyway, it came from my heart, so just know that I've had moments where I felt like this, and where I was like, I'm unlovable. And especially since my last dating experience, like, I'm turning 25 on February 6th, and I've never had a relationship. But you know, the people that I have dated, they were not for me. And so I crave an idea of someone who I haven't met yet, and a relationship that has not grown yet. So I do really like to affirm to myself that I have the time, and making friends is a special thing. Making romantic connections is also a special thing. So I hope that this helps. Know that you are not alone. You have time, and you are amazing as you are. And it's good to focus on university, and it's good to acknowledge these feelings and sit with them. You've got this. You've got this. The world is big. You have time. Okay, those were all of the questions I have. If you have any questions as well, or little dilemmas, or some tea to spill, drop them in the submission form. Keep in mind, because I read some of these submissions that I won't be able to answer, keep in mind I'm not a mental health care professional, and if you're struggling with your mental health, please go to a professional. Okay, take care of yourself. I had a really good time answering your questions. I'm rooting for you. I hope that